I've been accused of something today, and I wanna talk about the allegations. It's not sitting well with my soul. I'm a little bit hurt by these allegations. I went on social media and I talked about the big Dani Olmo move to Barcelona, and I said I liked it. And I started getting people, first of all, flaming me, saying I don't know what Barcelona needs, and then people saying because that I enjoy bars of Real Madrid football, that I want this move to happen because it's a negative move for Barcelona. And for me, lads, this is not a negative move for Barcelona. I think this is the opposite of a negative move for Barcelona. I think this is a phenomenal move for Barcelona. Seeing that Dani Olmo, you can put him on the wings, and you also have a midfielder that is just a phenomenal player. Now, I want to get straight to the point and say one thing straight up. I am not a Real Madrid fan. I enjoy watching Real Madrid play football, but I'm not a fan to the point where I'm going to cry if they lose or I'm going to get upset. I only get upset when Benfica loses. I'm a fan of Benfica. I enjoy Real Madrid football, but I also enjoy Barcelona football. Now, I like Real Madrid more. When the No Clásico happens, I want Real Madrid to win. But at the end of the day, I used to watch Dingo every day. I'm going to be watching Barcelona. I'm going to be glued to the seat watching Yamal play football. For me, if they have great players, I want to watch them. I truly believe that sometimes in life, there comes a time where you try something for a very long time, and if it hasn't worked, it might be time to look a different way, right? Let's say, for example, my diet. Okay, I'm not losing the weight I want to be losing. It might be time to try a different exercise, a different routine. Something needs to change, right? So in life, sometimes something needs to change. When you are Barcelona and you don't have the financial backing to make any move that you want to make, I understand that Barcelona needs a right back. I understand that Barcelona needs a left wing more than they need another midfielder. That's facts. But if the right one is not on the market, or if the right one is not available to you, you can't just go sign a player for 50 million because then you have another Victor Roque, I think I said his name right, situation. When they bought Victor, that had to hit. The situation that they're in money-wise, you have to hit. You cannot miss. And potentially at the moment where we stand at the moment, it's low-key a miss. Now, will it turn out to not being a miss? Hopefully for Barca fans. But right now, it's a miss. You can't miss. You have to hit. And this Dani Olmo move is a safe move because there is an 85% chance, potentially a 90% chance that this guy will be successful in the Barcelona system. First of all, you saw him in Spain, and some people will even argue that after Pedri's injury, Spain got better. Dani Olmo has football in him, extreme football. I think he's a player that will do more than all of them. And I'm saying that from the bottom of my heart. I've been saying this for years, and I'm going to continue to say this. Frenkie de Jong is one of the best midfielders in all of world football. But is he the best option for Barcelona? My answer's always been no, for two reasons. One, he probably gets you the most money on this squad, and the older he gets, the worse that you're losing value on him. If you move him when you're in a financial issue, you could make a lot of money on this player. That's a huge upside for Barcelona. Number two, does Frenkie de Jong give you enough goals from the midfield? I'm not sure. Frenkie de Jong is everything you want in a midfielder, but he doesn't have a lot of goals in him, right? Is Frenkie de Jong the issue at Barcelona's midfield? No shot. But like I told you, when you've tried something for so long and you've won La Liga with it, but you haven't got to where you want to be getting to in the Champions League. Let's be honest, Barcelona is a Champions League team. You need to be going very far in the Champions League every year. Maybe it is time to try something new. And I think personally, a midfield with Dani Olmo and potentially Pedri, if you could get it to work, you would then just need a defensive mid, which has been Barca's struggle for a long time. But let's be honest, defensive mids right now are very hard to get, extremely hard to get. So when I look at it right now, Lamine Yamal will most likely start on the right. Lewandowski will most likely start the striker position. Then you're going to get to that like Cam type position where you're going to have either Pedri, Gundogan, or Olmo, right? And then you're going to go back a little bit and it's going to be Gavi or Frenkie de Jong. And then when you get to like the defensive mid, you don't really have anybody. It's a problem that they've had for a long time. Now, here's the deal. Number one, and a very, very important thing is as much as I love Gavi, as much as I love Petty, these guys are freaking talented as heck. These guys are amazing. You need to take into consideration that Danny did do a bit more for Spain than Pedri. Does that mean I'm telling you to bench Pedri? No, in no way, shape, or form. But what I am telling you is there a way for you to run Gavi, for you to run Pedri and for you to run Dani Olmo on the field at the same time. And I think there is if Frankie de Jong is not there. Now, I don't think they're going to move Frankie de Jong. I think they're going to just go with a really stacked midfield. But another thing is I believe Dani Olmo can go on the wings. So the fact that Dani Olmo can go on the wings, the fact that Gavi at times can go on the wing, this might help you a lot because you can throw one of those guys out on the wing. Is it what you want? And of course not. Obviously, you want to go out for a winger. But again, if the right winger is not available at the time, is it smart for Barcelona to just chase anybody? And I'm going to be real with y'all, lads. It's not easy to find a winger right now. It's very, very hard to find a winger. And Nico Williams seems like he wants to stay. Nico Williams is one of the most probably sought out wingers for Barcelona, and it made sense for them to go for him. But I don't really see a lot of wingers that I would say, yeah, Barcelona should go for this guy because there's just not wingers. They have one of the best ones in Lamine Yamal. And then you get to like the Mbappes and stuff like that. But, you know, there's not that many crazy wingers out there. So in my opinion, that's a situation where, okay, maybe Dani Olmo fits more roles. It's just 55 million, which is a lot. But in football right now, it's not really that much. But you're getting just a phenomenal player all around that just had a crazy awesome Euro. So I want to pull up Dani Olmo's stats. Like I think we should look at his stats right together. So when you pull up his stats, Dani Olmo obviously plays in Germany in 2024 Euros. Lads, he played 6 games, and in those 6 games he scored 3 goals and had 2 assists in just the Euros. In Euro qualifiers, he played 2 games and had 2 goals. Okay. In the World Cup, he played 4 games. He had 1 goal, 1 assist. And in World Cup qualifiers, he played 5 games with 2 assists. All right. That is Dani Olmo's stats for playing for Spain. All right. For Spain. That's Spain. All right. Now, when we pull up on the Bundesliga, he's played 107 games. And in those 107 games, he has 17 goals with 24 assists, which is 40-something contributions, getting close to 50 contributions or something like that, I think, for this team. You go back to when he was in this league, 80 games played, 20 goals, 18 assists. So that's 38 assists in 80 games, or 38 contributions in 80 games. And in the Champions League, 24 games with 5 goals, 3 assists. So what I'm trying to explain to you is I truly believe that this guy gives Barcelona an option that is very good. Let me explain why. When you pull up Pedri for Spain, 4 games, 0 goals, 1 assist. In 2021, 6 goals, 0 goals, 6 games, 0 goals, 0 assists. 4 in the World Cup, 4 games, 0 goals, 0 assists. In qualifier, 3 games, 0 goals, 1 assist. I'm not saying Pedri's a bad player in any way, shape, or form. Don't get that twisted. Pedri's more talented than Dani. But Dani, in my opinion, is offering you something better offensively than Pedri. La Liga, 99 games, 16 goals, 7 assists, okay? All I'm telling you is having Pedri and potentially Dani Olmo or one or the other, which honestly, I think Pedri can go a little bit further back on the field. I think Pedri's so talented that you can move him back into Frankie de Jong's role if you want him to. I really think you could do that with Pedri. He's so good. I'm just saying to you that Dani Olmo, to me, offers you something a little bit extra offensively, and he has goals in him. And I think right now, Barcelona depends on Lewandowski so much that when Lewandowski was playing poor, Barcelona's season wasn't going good. And I think that they need to take a lot of the pressure off of Lewandowski and get goals from somewhere else. So at the end of the day, do I think Dani Olmo is a great signing? Listen, I think that Barcelona's midfield is already good. I do. But I think that bringing Dani Olmo in, I think you're going to get a lot of goals from the midfield. I think you're also going to get someone that's played with Lamine Yamal and showed that he could play with Lamine Yamal, and they played well together, including him and Nico Williams. And I think the plan here is to have Dani Olmo, Nico Williams, and Lamine Yamal at some point together. I think that's what Barcelona is attempting to do. I think Barcelona will chase Nico Williams again in the winter or in the summertime. I think that's the plan, and I think it's a great plan. I honestly think that this midfield, right, with Pedri and Gavi kind of switching that role of Frankie de Jong, if Pedri can play it, with Dani Olmo a little bit up more. Yamin Yamal on the right. Hopefully one day Nico Williams on the left. And then eventually they find themselves a defensive mid. I think that's a phenomenal midfield, dude. I truly believe that is a very, very good midfield. But again, I could be wrong, and people think that I'm just saying things to just say it. The truth is, if we're being 100% honest with each other, does Barcelona necessarily need a right back? The answer is no, because even Koundé had a really good Euro for France at right back, played it fine, so he can stay there. You got, what's that kid's name, Kubasi or whatever? He's a center back. He's a great center back. Arrojo, a great center back. Hopefully Balde could take the left back position. So the defense is not necessarily 100% you need a right back because Koundé can play it and plays it well. It would be good to have one for sure, but you don't necessarily have to have one. And the left wing, you want that position, but I don't think you should chase any type of left wing. I think you have to find the right one. I think Nico Williams is the right one, and they're waiting for him, which makes sense, just like Real Madrid waited for Mbappe. They're waiting for their guy, and that to me makes a lot of sense. So how do you improve this team? I think you improve it by trying something different in the midfield. And I think Dani Olmo can give you something different and more goals and assists in that midfield. So in my opinion, it's a phenomenal move. And I know Barca fans are going to come crazy at me, but I've given you what I think are facts and what are stats that prove that. I'm not saying that Pedri needs to be dropped. I'm saying you could find a way to use Pedri and Dani Olmo together, and maybe it's time to move away from Frenkie de Jong because he's not a defensive mid, and he's kind of like in that limbo situation where you don't know exactly 100% what he is at Barca. And Barca fans get really mad when I say this because I know how talented Frenkie de Jong is. But like I said, sometimes talented players don't make you better, dude. Sometimes the talent is not everything, and sometimes it's not what's best for the system and for the team. And maybe Frenkie de Jong is going to be what's best for the system of the team. But at the moment, I truly believe that a midfield with Gavi or Pedri, Dani Olmo, and let's just say Gundogan, or if they had a defensive mid, which they don't, but if they did, I mean, it would cook, bro. I truly think that would cook.